We are live. Woohoo! Hello and good morning and welcome, Nina.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here this Friday. In Swedish, we say lilla julafton. I have no
Mm,
idea if they say if you can say that in English, but
the small Christmas day. It will be so crazy in English. But what does it mean?
exactly. So whoever come on here, you will have to accept a little. We call it Swinglish because
Exactly. We love the Swinglish because we can be international with the Swinglish.
exactly makes life much more fun.
Yes.
And so, for whoever comes on, please write in the comment where you tune in from. And if you have any questions, because we're going to talk about something very, very both interesting and important, especially important, I would say. And for you who comes on after Christmas, maybe, and listen to this next week or whenever you listen to it, please write replay and where you tune in from and give some love. We love love. In this world, we need more love, don't we, Nina?
Yeah, we need love and we need the inclusion of everyone. We are human in this world. Let's spread
Exactly.
more inclusiveness and like we are together here and trying to do the best of what we have.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And I actually, this is the second time I invite a queen to my queenly corner here. So I
I
guess
feel thrilled to be a queen.
this is a new tradition.
Huh?
Once, twice, you have created a tradition.
Uh,
But anyway, these women I am inviting,
mm.
they all have one thing in common.
Yeah, tell me.
You're curious now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm so curious. What do I
Yeah.
have?
And that is, they all want to bring more joy to the world,
Mm. Yeah,
more
exactly.
joy and more love.
Mm.
So stay tuned here, and for every week we're gonna meet one new. And today it's Nina,
Mm.
and there is a reason for why I invited this queen to us today. And because it is Christmas tomorrow, and
Mm.
most people, they are very busy today. They are shopping, they're planning, preparing, cleaning, whatever you do. But then there are very many people who is going around feeling anxious and
Mm.
in many different ways. And I know that you, Nina, knows all about this
Yeah, I do. Mm.
with your history, which we're gonna jump into. So I welcome all of you. I can see that some are on, but I can't see who you are.
Can I
So
see? Can I see? I love to see when I send live these things. Who is with me? Who is not?
yeah,
I can't
yes.
see anything, but I'm
So
happy everyone's coming.
yeah, welcome, welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, Nina, if you would like to share how was it for you as a child? Because this
Mm.
period in year, I mean, we want to create this joy and wonderful memories for our children. That's what we all
Mm.
want to do. But for
Yeah.
many children, it's not so joyful and it's not so full of love. So how was it for Nina as a child around
Yeah. Yeah, it was both a very joyful, happy time and cozy, but it was also the happiness and the expectation were destroyed every Christmas because my dad was an alcoholic. So it was like my mom made the best Christmas, the gingerbread, everything, and we were baking. We were so happy, all of us, fixing the house. And my mom was really this cleaning, making it super nice. This I don't know if this is an international thing, but we got me and my sister small packages every morning from 1st of December to 24. I know
Mm.
in other countries most people have Christmas in 25, but we have 24 in Sweden, and that's the main Christmas day. So
Mm.
we were looking forward, it was so nice. But I always had this feeling in my stomach as I grew older. When is the fight coming? When is the screaming coming? When is someone going to be angry? When is someone going to look my mom or my grandmother or anyone's looking to someone and they will get annoyed. And this will end in a disaster, like fights. I'm not talking about a little bit angry or like you irritated or like it was fights. And I love to talk about this from my point of view when I were a kid, when I were a teenager and growing up. But also I'm a little bit like taking care not to expose my family. That's also why when I wrote my book, I have the perception, this is my story. This is not against my family. I love my family. Sometimes I'm angry with them and I was a kid, but it's my story. It's my point of view. I think this is so important also for people to allow themselves. When they were kid, they were not allowed. I wasn't allowed to take place. I wasn't allowed to talk about it. No one told me, but I knew from inside, don't talk about these fights in the Christmas. Don't talk about the lonely nights when I was going to bed. I got nice Christmas gifts and everything, but at night I went to bed alone. I was 8, 9, 11 years old, and I was listening, under my cover, and I could hear the fights. And sometimes I was like, and I was thinking, it was a long time since I talked about this. I was thinking like this, maybe I'm the only person in the whole world who have it like this, laying under my cover with this nice room. And I had like roof over my head and food and everything.
Yeah.
I was completely, people react differently when they are in like this. But as a kid, it's so normal to freeze. Like we know this brain, you can freeze, you can react in different kind of ways to shocks. I was freezing. I was like this in tensions. So
What would you have needed, like when you were there under your pillow, I almost said, but under your blanket? What would you have needed the most?
sometimes we had a dog. It's what is called this German Shepherd, lovely dog. Sometimes she came to me and she was laying in my bed. And this was so comforting for me. But what I would have needed is that the grown-ups were thinking, it's kids here. Kids, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to have all the emotions, but it's not okay to have fights and throw things and destroy things and sitting and crying behind doors and not thinking there are kids in the house. I also have a sister, she's 5 years younger than me. But like we didn't know what happened, but I'm talking about I didn't know what happened. So what I would need was grown-ups that, okay, we are angry now, but we must be responsible because it's kids, because kids are like in the hands of the grown-ups. No matter if they are the parents or if they are like living in foster family or anything, we grown-ups, we are responsible for kids' safety. And I also would have needed, and this is sometimes I feel like I'm criticizing other people, and I do in a way. No one said anything. Everyone knew what was happening in my family, but no one said anything because maybe they are wrong or maybe, but they told me when I was a grown-up, and this made me very angry because little Nina, this girl, why didn't anyone care about her?
Yeah, exactly. And this is so interesting also when you're talking about, I mean, it is fear. I mean, everyone is scared to like, oh, it has nothing to do with us, and they can be angry. And I think that's what makes adult not take their responsibility
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
but it's the wrong behavior. I totally agree with you. But if you look at that, you as two sisters, and seeing this over and over again, because it wasn't only for Christmas, to see,
No, it was always, yeah.
to see your parents change because of alcohol. I forgot to say in the beginning, we are talking about alcohol relations and especially Christmas now, but I think you all,
Especially family relations. It's not only my family who have complicated like this. It's like 1 million people in Sweden have a risk drinking. 300,000 is in a risk zone of getting an addiction, but 1 million are in a risk zone. It means that they are drunk a lot or drinking too much, what's good for the health. So it's many, and there are other things people can fight about. So it's not only about alcohol, it's other stuff too. And the pressure of being, you must be happy because it's Christmas. It's lots of pressure. this day, this weekend.
And that's why we also want to lift this, because what happens when we drink alcohol for a child to like see their parents just switch to become someone else and not behave in the safe, secure way that they normally do. There's so many levels of the effect from alcohol.
Yeah. There is a movie at the now it's the Swinglish coming, Folkhälsomyndigheterna. The authorities in Sweden, they're taking care of the health and these things. There is a movie when kids are talking about grown-ups and they're drinking. And this is not kids living in alcoholic families. These are just kids they took. And like they are not walking straight. You're talking like this, and I feel like this in my stomach, and it's feeling like they are getting worried because the kids, they have us as their security and taking care of them. So what happens emotionally if the grown-ups are not secure, like safe and being there for them or listening to them and put boundaries? It's not about being kids should have everything, but this is not also good, like they must have everything, like so many gift presents, and Santa must be perfect, and you are not being really happy inside. This is not, because this is giving the kids are seeing, if you're not happy inside, they can feel you because you are their parents. So these things, I'm not saying this to blame. This is what I have a daughter myself. I was drinking till she was 6 years old, and of course this was affecting her. I had lots of mental, like, feeling anxiety and this. Of course it will affect her, but if I deny it, it will be worse.
Exactly.
This is why I think it's so good to openly talk about it, because we are humans. We can do our best, but to drink and to hide what we really are feeling, this is making, especially kids, but even other people, so confused. They look angry, but they say they are happy, or what? And they are like, it's a confusion.
And that's, I mean, it is connected to so much shame and guilt, and because of course there are reasons for why people drink. It's not only to have, hopefully most people, they drink to have fun and celebrate or whatever reason, but so many do it because of whatever they have gone through. And I know that how it affected you, as you said, you kept on drinking just as your father a long time. And I mean, because of the shame, you do it behind closed doors.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to talk about it.
No, when you hide and you sneak. And I also want to say to everybody, I'm not against people that are drinking, that can handle alcohol, and if they want to have fun. But be aware if you are starting to, we can take this in the end, what the signals can be to yourself if you have some issues with alcohol. And it's not about guilting or shaming. It's about it's like to live yourself, not numb yourself and your emotions with alcohol, because life, this is also my message, life can be, I've been sober for many years now, but you can be happy and free and like this. You don't need alcohol, but if you want to, go ahead. I don't care if people are drinking, but my message is life is amazing also.
Exactly. And that brings into also what we discussed the other day, that I think there is so much fear of, how is it not to drink? Once you decided to, enough, I need to. I mean, how was what was your biggest challenge around taking the decision?
My biggest challenge was first the denial that I had a problem, even if it was obvious, because I was feeling bad from it. I drank even if I didn't want to. I tried to control the amount of alcohol I was drinking, just 1 glass, just 2 glass, or I stopped there, but it never stopped. I always got more drunk than I was planning to. And if you're planning too much around alcohol, it's a clear signal something is like, why are you thinking so much about it? But my biggest fear, what was mostly going in my brain, was like, life is going to be so boring. It's so boring. And what am I so boring? And what am I going to say to people when I'm not drinking? Like, I couldn't just say, no, thanks.
No.
And also, when I started to say no thanks, people were, no, but you can have one glass. They're trying to, yeah, you can have one glass, Nina, just one. I was like, yeah, I tried that for 4 or 5 years. It didn't go that well. But boring and what people would think about me.
Mm.
This
Mm.
was the two main. And the second one, I think this is very common. Not only people are drinking too much and what will think people think about me. This is, there are so many, we also talked about this, that there are so many rules how we should be. And we are trying to fit in. And this was a major thing for me to work with when I getting more sober and working with my personal development.
Mm.
Like, who am I and how can I dare to just be myself and live as myself from deep inside? Like, I'm a happy I'm in a foundation, I'm a happy, I have very close to all my emotions. I cry a lot and I get angry and sad and everything, but I'm also happy and good, because emotions, I say this and this is to make it more funny, but emotions and feelings, they're just like farts. They're coming and then they are going. So be in the circle of, like, the life is flowing. Don't,
Mm. Mm.
it's
Allow
just,
yourself to be.
yeah, exactly. Just, I'm like this today and
Exactly.
another day I'm this. It's like, but it
Mm.
was a long journey for me inside to realize I'm 100% valuable as I am. No
Mm.
matter how I feel a day, it doesn't mean I'm less of a person or less of a woman or anything because I have a bad day. It just means I have a bad day. And do I need to cry on something? Do I need to forgive something, someone? So I can
Mm.
let it go to be free. This is
Exactly.
I love to be free. I don't want anything to control me.
And this is so good that you bring that up, because we also talked about the importance of skipping the rules. Create your own rules.
Yeah.
As long as you don't
Mhm.
harm anyone else, just allow yourself to create your own rules,
Mm.
and trust that this is my birthright to
Yeah.
choose in every
Mm.
situation. And I think that's where the surrounding, well, the people, when we are around other people, where we can improve and become better, to actually, we know nothing about another person. Really, we don't know anything what's going on. And that's why it's so important that we lift this to the surface. We can never, like, as you say, yeah, have a glass.
Mm.
Why, you're boring. Why don't you?
Exactly. You are boring. What?
I mean, we may, I mean, this is a rule. We are not allowed to say that to anyone.
Mm.
I heard it so many times. I never had a problem with alcohol, but I still can sometimes choose not to drink.
Mm.
But still, I can hear this. Of course you can have some wine.
Mm.
No,
Don't be so boring. Yeah,
exactly.
and I think sometimes I like, sometimes I will be honest, to trigger people a little bit, because to, like, what are you saying to me? Do you think I'm boring because I'm not drinking, or are you boring because you need to drink to be funny? I don't think I say this to make people like just wake up a little bit. Like, what? How can I say this to another person?
Mm,
Who is
mm,
going to decide if I'm funny or not? People don't. And I really, even if I had a lots of sadness and guilt and shame, and I really had low self-esteem. I thought I was fat and ugly, and I had all of these things that many people, I think, really, I'll be completely honest, I hated myself. So I drank to escape myself.
mm, mm. I
And
think
this
this
is,
is the reality for many.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes people are eating too much of this, and I'm not saying it to shame or guilt anyone, just to, you are allowed.
Mm,
You are loved as you are. I do, really, this is my message. Like, you don't
mm,
have to hide, but if you're doing it, do
mm,
something about it, because
mm.
you can solve it. You can release yourself. And
Yeah.
it's also important to have a community, like you say, to grow and change,
Mm,
because I love to talk about this. I can be so go deep, because it's not like people say, but it's not easy to change. It's not easy to stay motivated. It's not easy, but it's not more easy to stay where you are and be miserable, have a work you hate, or drinking, or don't like yourself. This is not easier, because it's only going to be worse day by day if you don't improve, because what doesn't develop, it's going to stagnate. And sometimes people is like, but I can't develop myself all the time. I get so boring self-development. Oh, I will get burnt out. Yeah, if you feel like this, you're doing it wrong. It's not like, maybe personal development is to love yourself a little bit more. Take a nap during the day. Take a break. Start to apply for new work. Drink less and see how you feel. Like these small improvements. Like it's enough with 1% per day. Do something differently like you did before, so you can feel like, oh, I can do it. I can acclimatize to my new me, to improve, to be more happy. And for God's sake, we have this in Sweden, jantelagen. I don't know what it's called in other language. It's a freaking bad law. Like, are you too big for your boots? Who do you think you are? And I say, this is a big no-no in my life. But of course, I can feel limited by myself and my own perceptions of what I'm allowed to do. But it's just emotions like coming up. You can't do this, Nina, because maybe someone is thinking something. Yeah, they are not paying my rent. They are not living my life. But of course, I took lots of help with coaches and these things to allow myself to grow and change. And it's allowed to grow and change. Some people will really not like that you're growing and changing, because it will trigger them.
Exactly. And I followed you for years, especially on LinkedIn, and you are a dynamite of joy and love, and I know that you have written a book and you have created exactly this community as you talk about, which I would say for all kind of change, when we decide to do a big change in our life, wherever we are, we need to surround ourselves with someone who can hold us accountable and especially love us and cheer us on and be there for us. And you have created this community, and I think you mainly work with women. Yeah, is that correct?
Yeah, when it's coming to my membership, my program, it's only for women, because I had it for a year. I have my business for 3.5 years. And I released my book 2019. But I realized now, having my program only for women a year, like, it happens a lot with women, like they are parents, or the sexual abuse and lots of things, and they are feeling a lot of things. So I wanted to create this space to live sober, but also taking care of the health. And when I'm talking about the health, I mean that the body is a whole. It's emotional, but it's also physical. And I have all of this in my community. And also, we are crying together. We are laughing together. We are like celebrating each other. We are doing these things. I want life to be life. So the community is only for women. But my VIP clients, funny, they're only men. For these 3.5 years, my VIP client, it's only men. Mostly like CEOs and these things. And I think because they need, if you are a CEO or a boss of a company, you need also someone that supports you, because it's a lots of responsibility and it's lots of people to handle. So this is what it became for my business. I wrote my book like out with my history, my story growing up like that, being a recovered alcoholic for 16 years now, 17 in the spring. If I'm
Wow.
good. Yeah.
I want to celebrate you for that. I don't know, there is no emojis here, but a lot of celebration comes here from Portugal to you for doing that.
Yeah.
It's such a journey you've been on, Nina, and I know that this is your passion. This is also your mission to reach out to as many women for your community, and then men, of course, humans.
Yeah.
Who needs to get this guidance in a, I would say it in a more modern and joyful way.
Yeah, this is what I like you said it, because I say I'm a modern rebel.
Yay!
Yeah, like, you can be happy without alcohol. Drink if I'm like this. If people don't like me, if they want to drink, do whatever they want to do. But the people, if you hang out with me, you can be as you want. Go your own way, do your own thing, love yourself, find your purpose in your life, no matter what it is. And sobriety is about to embrace your whole self and love yourself so much so you give yourself the life you really want from the bottom of your heart. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy every day, but I'm saying it's worth it 100%. I sent a message. I have a group that we see each other once a month. I guide them in the 12-step program because I have this also like a part of my business. I sent them like the 19th of April, 1997. I went to my first AA meeting, and this small step, going through a door, talking to, and there was a women only for, the meeting was only for women. This changed my whole life. So you never know which next step you take that will change your life. But if you don't take any step, you will never know. You will stay where you are and it will get worse. So it's take one small step and then next and then next. And all of a sudden you're sitting like a very happy person with Christmas earrings and talking on LinkedIn and Facebook and feel like, wow.
Yeah. What happened?
And this is life. Sometimes it's and sometimes it's super good, and sometimes you're angry, and sometimes life is life, no matter. But it's make it as easy as you can on yourself.
And it's also, I mean, one thing is when you have a problem with alcohol, but I know I used to live in a relation where my partner had a lot of alcohol, and from my perception, that was a problem. But this is also interesting because now when I'm looking back, it's again like when we judge someone, and we're trying, for me, I try to control the amount.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you experienced that? But I mean, if we look upon the people, because it was a kind of a codependency, which it is for most people who live with someone who's over consuming alcohol. But what would you say to a person who's living with someone who they feel drinking too much?
Yeah, this can be really painful. I were in a treatment like 20 years ago for my codependency because I grew up with my dad. And it's really painful if you love someone and they are drinking and you're trying to do everything. But if I will make it short, because it's not nothing is shortcuts in life, but strengthen yourself. Take help to build your own self-esteem, your love yourself, because it will easier to put boundaries to the person you love. Because it's also, if someone have problem with alcohol and they are in denial, like many are, you can't save them. You can't make them stop drinking, maybe for a while or anything. If you are really lucky, you take care of yourself as if your partner or children or anything like are drinking too much, you can say, I can help you when you want to stop drinking or when you want to look at your issues with alcohol. I love you. I want to do anything for you. But as long as you're denying the problem, it's hurting me. So I have to take care of me. And this is, I want to be very like serious because it's painful. It's really, really painful to see loved ones, especially if it's your children, but even if it's your partner, anything, it's super painful to see someone slowly drinking and destroying everything. But you gotta love yourself and take help. There is also 12-step meetings if you want, and people are so ashamed to go there. But yeah, I also help people like this. It's about have the courage to prioritize yourself, your own emotions. If you are have someone in your life that's drinking, you are allowed to say no to the people that's hurting you, even if they don't mean to. No one, I didn't drink to hurt anyone, but I did. But I needed someone that put limits to me before and said, Nina, I can see what you're doing and I don't approve of it. I love you, but I don't approve of it. But no one did. I'm super thankful that I found the 12-step program. So I was so young also when I got sober, 28. comparing to. My dad died when he was 52 from alcoholism. I'm 53 today. So if I didn't found it, I wouldn't be here today. Maybe I would have died. My daughter and me. There's lots of things that's happened during these years. So, but
so we bring to this like responsibility from the environment who actually sees what's going on to act in a loving way, in a respectful way. Because again, I mean, these people who for different reasons drink too much, they are just humans with their story that makes them drink. So if we can just, without closing our eyes and turning the other direction, to actually face them and say to them, as you say now, I see what's going on. I feel you. And but can we? What more can we do? I mean, we can't help them. We can't do the work for them. But what can we do?
It's really hard because the person in denial about her alcohol consumption, they don't want to do. But you can, of course, like some people buy my book and send it to them and they get provoked from this. But in a way, sometimes it can be one step. You can say, there is a lots of treatment for this. Or you can have advice, or you can call, but you can also say it straightforward, give them books about codependency and look, this is what's happening to me when you are drinking, and I love for you to get help. But it's like, I should say, take help with someone that know about this, about alcoholism, because it's very tricky to talk about these people because they are in denial. I have these clarity calls, like frequently people are contacting me, and I can spot directly if someone is ready to do something. And I say sometimes, are you really ready to try to live sober, at least for a while? I have a lovely client. I love her so much. And she's like, the first time she did my list, I have a small course, it's very cheap, to see what's your life pattern and these things. And she bought this and one call with me because I have an offer at the time. It's like, a little bit over a year ago. And she said, she did this. And I said, okay, let's try. How about you are sober for 30 days? She said, you are crazy, Nina. And she was drinking alcohol every day after work, sitting on the balcony, drinking and smoking every day for 7 years. And she was feeling so bad from herself. She's a lovely person. But she said, now I will say 8 days. I said, okay, let's say 8 days. So she was willing to try. And this is the most thing, the willingness, not not like this with the forehead, like, okay, I'm going to try it and see what's happening. She was 8 days and 9 days. Now she had been sober for almost 10 months, and she have contact with her daughter again, and she's happy, she is healthier, and she's like, what happened, Nina? I'm sober. I'm like, yeah. And also I have a lots of these stories, because it's not about forcing your way to stop drinking or like this, like allow yourself to see what's happening emotionally and with your health. And because people think they sleep better and more relaxed with alcohol, but it's not. It's destroying the health.
Yeah.
And if you are, like we were talking about, codependent, or you have a relative or anyone you think, I can't put it's hurting me, because it's so hard to see someone drinking in that way. So it's like, that's why I say strengthen up yourself. If your partner or the person you see are drinking don't want to, it's freaking painful. So talk to someone, take some help, because problem doesn't solve themselves. People are saying, I'm going to wait till Monday, next week, after the vacation, after Christmas, after this, after this. And it feels like you took a decision, but you can't take a decision in the future. You can only take a decision now. You can make plans for the future. But what about now? What about, okay, let's see if I can be sober today. Let's see if I can be thankful and have some gratitude that I'm alive this day.
Wow. And this, when I listen to you now talking, the feeling that comes to me actually reminds me about the conversation I had last week with Yaya Yankert about clothing, because when I hired her to help me think 3 years ago.
She's lovely. I met her once. She's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Mm.
And the feeling I had that she saw me. She
Mm.
saw me.
Yeah.
And she really, really was like curious and interested to help me. And that's the feeling I get when I listen to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have and how much license certifications and educations about helping people to be sober. But if you cannot feel and hear and see your client where they are, I mean, because I've never been an alcoholic, but I guess that it's a problem of who am I? The self-esteem. We don't value ourselves, right?
No. And
And
it can be like things from childhood, from life, and it doesn't have to be this dramatic like I had in my childhood, because when you grow up, you will have small traumas. It's like I say, the emotions, you think you are like this, you get your identity during growing up, and you think I'm like this, and you look yourself in the mirror like I did, I'm ugly. And it's not true. I'm not ugly. No one is. We all have our, like, I worked a lot with myself, but we have this inner beauty, like when we are us, like you say, and it's so important. That's why I don't have any like this, you must do this, you must do this, you must do this, because I don't think it works. It's like, what do you need to feel better about yourself? Where are you now? And helping people to grow and change as they want. I am a guide. I see myself as a guide. I'm guiding people to a life they love to live without numbing themselves with alcohol. And it's different, because this is also one thing, like I think it's wrong with the society. It's all this, if you're like this, you must be like this. If you're like this, you must be like this. No, as long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, you can be as you want.
I used to say that it's so good, because I used to say also, like, help people to get out from this box that is limiting them and just set them free. And that's actually what you do. And I know that you have created this program where you can, it's like a formula or a system, or
it's a system. It's a membership. We meet once a month. And in the spring, I'm going to have guests that talking about health. I'm going to have clinical scientists and yoga and everything to help people to find what's good for them. No, in every month, I'm going to have a guest. And once a month, I have like workshops and meeting. We can talk. I have always on every meet, like talk from your heart. So people can talk what they need to let go to get by next month. And I have a course portal that can go inside. I have courses, and they can work on, if it's motivation, it's about health, it's EFT. I do this, EFT, even though, I do this. And I do lots of things so people can, this fits me. And it's spirituality. It's important for me. Like, how do you feel? These things, because this is so important for me. And my clients say I'm brainwashing them. Like, you can feel whatever you're feeling. You are allowed to all your feelings, but feelings are not facts. And facts are not attacks. So, because my business is, if I translate it into English, it's like a kick in your ass. It's where the science meet magic, because I'm an academic, so it's most important for me with the science. But there is magic in the world. There is. For example, if you are in love with someone, you can say, maybe you have someone and like, why this person? What not this person? Looks approximately the same, have the same, blah, blah, but you love this person. What is this? Yeah, it's just a feeling. Exactly. This is the magic with the things we can't explain. And I love this when we can have the science and we can have the magic and we mix them together, we can find ourselves.
Exactly. Just trust that what you feel is right for you. Always listen to within. That's what we talk about a lot also in Queen Formation. And that's what I love with how you work, because we don't like pekpinnar. Have no idea.
No. Exactly. This is what people say when they read my book. You don't have any pekpinnar. How can we say this in English? Like, you must do this or else it will not work. And it's not true. I hate actually when people say, because this is also, when I was growing up, I was put in environments. I put my own inner jail for myself. This is how I must be, or else they will not love me. They will not accept me. So it's like this inner limited beliefs. I had to look at them and open up. Okay, it's okay for me. Because I love this, for example, I was so ashamed because people see me like, you talk so easily in front of people. Yeah, but I didn't for a long time, because when I was a kid, they told me, don't talk so much, don't be so shiny. Why would you want to play theater? Why do you want to do this? I was so limited by the whole society as I felt. But a few years ago, I was like, sorry for cursing now if someone is sensitive, but fuck this shit. I'm going to be me, because I know I love to help people to live their best lives. And if you don't like me, it's okay. But the people I help, they're really happy and they are so thankful. And it brings me so much joy in my life to help people to live their best lives without numbing themselves.
And I love that, because you are such an inspiration, Nina, in so many ways. Just because you do it your way and you do it with your heart, and I really really love that. And I know that even if not so many is on now, I know they will listen to this replay, and I want them to know where they can reach you, how they can reach you. Where do they find you? Can you maybe also write in the comments afterwards your...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But what's the easiest way? Please share.
Nina Berg, just Google me. I'm on Facebook. I hope private Facebook, not so private because there's lots of thousands of people. But they also have a Facebook page, and there I write like this Nina Berg, a guide, but in Swedish, a guide to a life you love to live. And on Instagram, but I started a new Instagram. I had lots of follow before, but I had bad energy there. So I cleaned it and throw it away. So I start a new account, but it's ninaberg.se.
Yeah.
So Nina Berg, if you're interested to read a lot of articles of me and listen to podcasts, there are lots also. Just Google Nina Berg addiction in Swedish, and Nina Berg. I was in a podcast. This was very pop. Many people listen to this. It's in Swedish, but it's called Alkispodden.
Alkispodden.
There's lots of people. I had lots of clients from there because it's a really nice conversation with these two guys. But I've been in lots of podcasts. So just Google me or send me a mail or send me a message.
I also know that you have planned to work more internationally. That's why we are like speaking English.
Yeah, but I postponed these plans. Because things were happening. But I do love, I want in the future to translate my book and do it, but I have to postpone it because my Swedish business and the lecture and these things are growing next year. So I'm taking clients. But I think if you're really interesting, the book is at ninaberg.se in my web shop. This is where, and it's also, I have, you can listen to it. I also have 30 days free on Next Story if someone wants listen for free. I have a link.
But I guess that you can take on VIP clients.
This is I have a few spots for next year, VIP clients. It's the VIP clients and the membership mainly. But that's my book, and I have my small courses. So in a way, that's why I have all these like small things and big things, depending on what people need right now. Because this is my message: start where you are with what you have, and go forward step by step.
Brilliant. Do you want to leave our audience with something in the end before we wrap this up, Nina? Is there something?
What I always say, it's like I said it before, but this is my main message. Like, no matter how you feel, you're always 100% of valuable and deserve to live your life as you want. Even when these days you don't feel like it, you have the right to love yourself and accept yourself. Even if it doesn't feel like, I know it doesn't feel like this always, but it's possible and it's okay. You are okay.
Exactly. That was a really, really good ending to this little conversation one day before Christmas. And I'm so grateful for you coming on here and share this, because we really want to just put some light on this. That life does not have to be boring without alcohol. We can dance and have fun and celebrate if we choose.
Yeah.
But again, if we choose to drink, that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. People can do what they want, like.
As long as we don't hurt anyone else.
Yeah, and not ourselves also. This is so important. Don't hurt yourself and don't hurt others. So like it's go both ways.
Absolutely. Thank you for reminding.
Yeah.
So again, big thank you. And we want to wish a Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas, and you're so welcome. I also have free webinars or everything. Like if someone wants to, oh, I felt this was interesting, but I'm afraid. It's okay to be afraid. It can be a small step just to listen to a small webinar or follow me or anything. It's the small, everything counts.
I can say you don't have to be afraid with this queen, because it's just pure love and happiness. Take my word for it. You're a wonderful spirit. And thank you for being here, and Merry Christmas and love to you all.
Merry Christmas. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.